Welcome to episode 81 of our Family Travel Australia series. This week we explore the capital of the New South Wales Outback, Broken Hill, and what an incredible, vibrant city it is. With so much on offer for every visitor, we are sharing our roundup of the best attractions and experiences to fill your days and make your stay truly memorable. From world-class art galleries, quirky pubs, rich history and passionate locals, expect the unexpected in Broken Hill. Plus, we have the opportunity to learn all about the incredible life-saving work of the Royal Flying Doctors Service, and we visit the Pro Hart Art Gallery and have the opportunity to chat with Pro's son John for an intimate view into the Hart family's life here in Broken Hill. Be sure to subscribe and join us for all of the adventure.
Cheers!
Broken Hill! We made it.
Love it.
What an incredible, vibrant outback city. In fact, it's known as the capital of the New South Wales Outback, and for good reason. And we are sitting in the Broken Hill pub, newly refurbished, reopened. What an incredible building that you just would not expect to be out here in the desert.
It is a grand building and the food is fantastic and the drinks are cold, which is good. Okay, I have to say this for my mum if she's watching. We didn't come to the pub first, all right? We came here second. The first stop on our list was the Visitor Information Centre, and the reason why we go there is because they have the best maps. So make sure you grab yourself one of these. It's called a touring map. And the reason why you need this is because there are over 65 visitor experiences to choose from.
It's incredible. You just would not expect there to be so much and a diversity of experiences out here in Broken Hill.
Yeah, exactly. So we have marked up on our map the 10 things that we would recommend are the must-dos.
Yeah.
We speak to travellers all the time that say, oh yeah, I've been to Broken Hill, and they were in and out in a night, 2 days. You actually need 5 nights. If you can come for a week, then you're not rushed. That is perfect. It's a great base to also explore some of those other parts of the region, which we'll get to in next week's episode. But for this week, we really wanted to focus on this remarkable town. It's the first and only city in Australia to be heritage listed, the entire city.
It's incredible. There is so much history here and so much more than what we all think of when the name Broken Hill is spoken, and that's mining. Yeah,
I mean, they have got such a diverse culture here. The art scene is huge. The food scene is fantastic. The beverage scene is even better. In its heyday, there were 75 pubs here.
It's hard to believe when you look at the town centre.
So we're going to try and explore a few of those pubs, but in between share with you the experiences that you will love when you visit Broken Hill.
Okay, so once you've been to the Visitor Information Centre, picked up your map and have come to the pub, roll it out and get a lay of the land, head next door, have a beer, and then head next door to the Regional Art Gallery. The Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery is the oldest regional art gallery in New South Wales and was established in 1904. Formerly Sully's Emporium, it operated as a hardware store from 1885 to 1985. With more than 2,000 artworks in the permanent collection and touring exhibitions, this truly is a wonderful display of art.
A really great permanent part of the exhibition is the famed Brushman of the Bush. And that really is a great segue to where we headed next, and that was to Pro Hart Gallery to check out this legend of the Outback's studio and works. what an unexpected surprise. You park the car and you walk through the main gates and are met with some of those famous Pro Hart classic Rolls Royces. I mean, one of them's completely painted up. There's even a Bentley. And then you enter through the main door into the gallery and you are met with this multi-level, wall-to-wall painting exhibition.
Incredible.
There's also a theaterette that talks to the life and times of Pro, and then you can actually walk around and see all of these artworks that have made him so famous. The highlight really of the trip to the Pro Hart Gallery was an opportunity to meet and talk with Pro's eldest son, John Hart, who is an established artist in his own right. His story was quite remarkable and at times moving. John was so generous with his time, and it was such a pleasure to speak with him and hear all of the stories about himself and his siblings growing up in and around the studio and the feet of Pro while he was doing his work. Really fantastic. And we're going to include that entire interview at the end of this episode. So make sure you stick around for that. Okay, the next place that we visited was the famous Palace Hotel.
Yes, and this one was so high on my list. You might recognise this iconic hotel from the famous Australian movie Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, one of my absolute favourite movies. The scale of this building is just incredible, with its 3 levels and 52 accommodation rooms, and of course the famed Priscilla suite. It was such a treat to have Esther give us a tour and actually stand inside the Priscilla suite and take selfies.
Look, we were really fortunate because they did have a check-in coming in the afternoon, so we had this little window and she said, all right, come on, let's check it out. Very cool.
Now, something remarkable about this building is that it was originally built as a coffee house to set it apart from all the licensed buildings around Broken Hill. But unfortunately, it was just not profitable, and so it morphed into a pub. Something incredibly quirky and unique are the murals that are painted across every wall and ceiling in the building. And I was fascinated at the story of how this came to be and the owner's dream of transforming the hotel into an oasis in the outback.
Yeah, in fact, the murals take up 500 square metres. It is that large and that impressive. It's literally every corner and every part of the roof or anywhere where there was a spare bit of wall became a blank canvas and is now covered in these incredible artworks.
A truly unique pub experience.
Okay, a couple of other highlights for the Palace Hotel include drag queen karaoke, so make sure you check out their Facebook page for those dates. And they also have 2 up every single Friday night from 9 p.m, which is fantastic. The other thing is that in September they have their Broken Heel Festival. You heard it right, the Broken Heel Festival. The Outback is never a drag. Don't you love that? So you can check out the dates for that coming up in September, because I think that will be an absolute scream. All right, the food scene in Broken Hill is an absolute surprise.
Definitely.
Yeah, we weren't expecting to have so many fantastic options here. And one of the most famous places to visit is the Bell's Milk Bar.
Talk about taking a step back in time. Bell's Milk Bar is Australia's oldest continuous running milk bar, and it was first opened in 1892. You walk in and it literally is like time has been paused, and you can enjoy old school service. There's over 50 original recipe drinks that include their famous milkshakes and spiders. You've got 50s music playing on the jukebox, and you can sit and relax in the diner booths and take in their museum that houses an incredible collection of old school furnishings and appliances.
Oh, they've done it so well. It really is like a scene out of a retro film.
Yes.
Isn't it? It's very cool. Okay, that was pretty enjoyable for us, but the real highlight for Jasper was where we visited next, and that was the Railway Museum on Sulphide Street.
Housing the Silverton Tramway Company, locomotives and railway memorabilia, this is set in the original 1905 railway station. We had a guided tour with the incredibly passionate Christine, who also shared the Broken Hill Migrant Heritage Museum and the fascinating stories of struggle and resilience that led to the dynamic multicultural community that Broken Hill really is today. There's also a hospital museum, an impressive mineral collection, an antique amusement park that I absolutely loved.
Wasn't that so cool?
The only thing that would make that better is being able to ride on that old carousel.
Or put the little ping pong balls in those clowns. That would be cool.
And the highlight, of course, was being able to walk through the Silver City Comet.
Yeah, this place is literally 4 museums in one. So allow yourself 2 to 3 hours, particularly if you've got a train enthusiast in your family, because there is so much to see, there's so much on display, and the stories are so beautifully presented, you want to allow yourself enough time.
Definitely.
Okay, the next place for us to check out was the Big Picture.
The Big Picture is located in the Silver City Mint and Art Centre and is home to the largest acrylic painting in the world, painted by a single artist. At 100 metres long, 12 metres high, and taking over 9 tonne of paint to complete. They also make silver jewellery on site. There is a chocolate factory, which was the real highlight for Jasper. But the real focus for a visit to this attraction is, of course, the Big Picture, purely for the scale and the work that was involved in creating it. Incredible.
Yeah, it is very impressive. I think when you come around through that sort of cave section, and then you walk along a boardwalk and this painting is revealed, it is remarkable. The actual scale of it is quite unbelievable until you're standing there. The way they've lit it up as well, it really brings all the colours out of the painting. So it's really vibrant and definitely worth a visit. Okay, of course, coming to Broken Hill, the first major landmark that you see is the line of Lode, and up there too is the memorial to the miners.
And what a statement, towering high over the city, and it encompasses everything that you anticipate Broken Hill is going to be when you come out here for the first time. The Miners' Memorial actually was such a moving place, and it recognises the life and work of more than 800 miners who have sadly lost their lives, dating as far back as the 1800s. Sitting up there, perched up on that huge pile of rock that overlooks the city, there is an adjoining cafe, and that is an excellent opportunity to sit and have a drink and really take in the vastness that is the Broken Hill City.
And make sure that either on your way up that hill or before you actually leave, that you check out the original site and signage of Broken Hill Proprietary, or better known as BHP, because it's worth getting a selfie there and reading the story as well. Okay, the final destination that we've marked up on our map is RFDS.
The Royal Flying Doctor Service, and I loved everything about this experience.
This actually is the number one choice for both of us. If you're coming to Broken Hill and you're in and out, whatever you do, make sure that you go and visit this place. It is an incredible story, an incredible service that is provided free to every Australian.
The tour is through the interactive museum, and it really celebrates the history of the Royal Flying Doctors, the School of the Air, and just the life-saving services that are offered to the people who live in the Outback, but also to anybody who is visiting the Outback. We watched a great short film and then had a guided tour through the history of how Reverend John Flynn created this service and the way the story is depicted on our Australian $20 note. Who knew? And the best part was getting to walk into the hangar, and this is the bit that Jasper just loved, walking amongst the planes and hearing those rich stories that are a part of this iconic and, as you said, Paul, free service to all Australians.
It is remarkable. It is known now as the #1 most trusted charity in Australia. And you can see why. When you're actually there and you're hearing the story and you're in the museum and watching the video footage and hearing the audio recordings of how these people actually support and care for people in these rural areas is goosebumps at times, isn't it? Now, it's only $15 for adults, and all of that money goes to providing this service. You know, it is incredible. So all the money you spend in the gift shop, your admission price, or if you would like to make a donation, it all goes 100% to supporting this incredible service.
You can help the Royal Flying Doctors by donating money.
Okay, wow. Now, that was about a week of us exploring this incredible city. So we really wanted to soak up the culture and the enthusiasm of the town and its people and the characters. So if you can give yourself that amount of time, you will really get to experience the best of this area.
Without a doubt. And this is one of those places that has a real feel to it.
Yeah.
There's something special, so you don't want to fly in and fly out. Stay longer if you can.
That's really good, actually. Yeah, you're going to say that the Broken Hill Tourist Park, we've marked on our map as well, is where we set up base.
It's really great. It's right on the edge of town, which made it super easy for us to get in and around, to duck up to the major shopping centres and pick up groceries as well. Great for families. A beautiful and very refreshing pool on site, which has made those really hot days that we've had out here so much better. A jumping pillow for the kids, which Jasper has absolutely loved, and
Always
we've done
a highlight, isn't it?
plenty of laps up and down the jumping pillow. There's a playground. They've just built brand new amenities, which everybody who stays there raves about, so make sure you check those out. They also have cabins on site as well, and they operate a full tour business, so you can jump onto one of their tours and experience some of these things in Broken Hill, or also a little further out of town where we're headed next week.
Next week is going to be an absolute ripper of an episode. We will be heading out to Silverton to explore some of the incredible parts of this region, including one of the quirkiest stories, I think, and characters that you'll ever meet. We'll also be visiting and staying on a camel station for a few nights and enjoying a camp off-grid in the desert underneath 4 billion stars. We will visit the impressive living desert sculptures, and we'll also have an opportunity to get underground in one of the most amazing and original mines, the Daydream Mine.
How are you going to go with that?
Yeah, a little bit jelly leg. Okay, there it is. What an incredible week in Broken Hill.
Love it.
We have actually put all of that detail of all of those experiences and must-know things to do while you're in Broken Hill on our website. So you can check it out there. It's all the W's, thefeelgoodfamily.com.au. And if you've got an idea for a place or maybe a story that has to be told, an experience or a destination that you would like us to visit and cover, make sure that you let us know by putting it in the comments below, or you can also drop us a line on our website. But for now, thanks for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
Studio, his easel was actually here where I'm sitting, and it was just chaos. I mean, I'm an artist myself, and I could not work, and it was such a mess. Stuff everywhere, and if you touched anything, you'd be in trouble. Dust, but that's how it worked. I mean, I couldn't. In my studio, it's like I don't think I've ever spilt a drop of paint on the floor. Dad look, should look at the carpet. It's a disaster. But that's how he was. So as a kid, I used to come in, but he was always very generous with his time, even though he was working. And sometimes we just sort of just go through stuff and play. But after a while, yeah, we just grew up, and we knew Dad was always in the shed. So if you needed to see him, yeah, you'd come to the studio and see him. He worked every day, and he was in here by about 11 in the morning, and he went right through to 10, 11 at night. Yeah. When Pro was working on or Dad was working on the mines, he was always stuffing around, always inventing, and it was just short for Professor. It was a nickname. Everyone had a nickname on the mines, but it ended up Pro, and it stuck. It just, yeah, even Mum's called him Pro. Mad. Dad he sort of indirectly, I think, started the tourism in Broken Hill, and indirectly made this place a tourist spot. He was a mad collector of Australian art, international art. He used to save up his money from the mines and go to auctions, and that's how he built his collection. So he filled the house up. So he thought, okay, well, I'll build like a big shed, which is the back part of the gallery, where we've got the studio under the glass, which we've preserved. Well, that was the first part of the gallery, and then he realised he was running out of room, so a two-storey section and brick was put on front of it. And then in between this, he started to become famous as an artist, so people were coming to town to see the gallery and the collection, so the whole thing sort of organically grew. Dad never really sort of directly had a plan, I think, to end up as famous as what he was, and to be the father of the art industry in Broken Hill. But it was a weird confluence of events. We had the mines shut down. There was a lot of people who had either left Broken Hill or retired, and so suddenly had a lot more people looking at what Dad was doing and thinking, well, maybe I can paint. Well, actually, Dad himself was working in the mines, and eventually decided that it was safer and he could make more money being an artist. So he talked to Mum about it, and that's kind of how he started in Broken Hill, and then of course became more famous. And with his collection growing, suddenly there was a tourist thing. People did want to come to Broken Hill and see what was happening. The brushman of the bush wasn't actually Dad's idea. It was Eric Minchin, who was an accountant. So it was Eric, John Pickup, who's the manager of the ABC here in town. Then we've got the bushy Jack Absalom. Jack Absalom was I think he was a roof shooter, from memory. It's going way back now. But anyhow, and Huey Schultz, he was a miner. They all got together and formed this group, and from that led to international shows, group shows, charity shows, and Dad's fame just kind of increased. It all sort of happened to him. He never really set out to be where he ended up. So it all sort of happened around him. Sometimes I think with Dad, it was like being in the back of a truck rolling down a hill, but no one was steering the truck. We were just at the back, and all this stuff just happened.
Beautiful. What makes a true masterpiece?
Not a bad drop of red there.
It must be memorable. It must be able to stand the test of time. It must be prepared for the critics.
The Stainmaster carpet commercial was just enormous. I think that was started about 83 or something, 85. It was bigger than what the company had imagined. It just clicked with people, and I think it probably connected because Pro was always a bugger for painting on things. You couldn't leave a car in the yard without an ant or something being painted on it. He didn't like doing the food thing, and he wasn't much of an actor, but he did it, and I think that really boosted his fame a lot. The whole thing just snowballed. In fact, it's a funny story. When they came up and ran the idea of Dad painting on a piece of carpet with food, and of course it has to come off because that's what the Stainmaster thing's about. But at the time I had a St Bernard, and they'd done this fantastic dragonfly test run, and everyone went inside to have something to eat, and the dog got out, cleaned the carpet up, and we all come out, and here she is lying on her back, couldn't move, guts full of food, and they laughed. I was so embarrassed. Anyhow, but so they did about 3 of them, and then the old Mr. Hart, what a mess thing just became another meme. And I think in a way he was sticking it up the established art world. He was always an outsider and never really accepted into it. And I think that kind of hurt him in a way. And but he ended up a larrikin, I suppose is the word. Yeah. All the kids paint. My brother Kim and David are up in Queensland. Kim's up at Mount Tamborine, and he's got a studio up there. David's in Brisbane now. Sister Mari's in Adelaide. Mother sister Julie's here. But all paint. The other siblings are very much like Dad, just with their own kind of unique twist to it all. Julie's probably the closest. I remember once we were chipping work and I grabbed one of Julie's paintings. I thought it was Dad's. She doesn't paint much, but she always used to come into the studio, so she learned to do the skies how Dad did it. And I think the only choice I had was to either paint landscapes traditionally like Dad did, I would have chosen not to. So for me, I had to go to art school, and so I got the academic training, and it was probably the best thing I could do because it got me out of the shadow, and then opens up. It allows me to find my own voice. And if you look at any of my work, there's no connection at all to Dad. And I think that's an important thing when you're a son or daughter of a famous person, is to get out on your own, escape the shadow. The Pinot and painting classes we're doing is actually the brainchild of my sister Mari, and she was running them in Adelaide. She had like a wine bar down there, but she's up here looking after Mum because Mum's quite frail now. So while she's up here, she said, "Well, why don't we do it?" And so we did that with Great Southern Rail. We said, "Look, you're coming up for a tour. Maybe the people would like to sit and come into Pro's studio, half an hour, paint something, have a glass of wine." Boom. They loved it. They thought it was the best thing ever. So what we're going to do now, from about March, anyone coming up to the gallery, Murray's going to be running the courses, but if they just jump on the Pro Hart site, we'll probably put something on the website to say that the classes are there, and we'll take bookings that way. Because we can only really, especially with COVID, probably only put 10, 15 people in here to make it safe. But everyone so far says they've had a brilliant time doing it.
It is awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Just a pleasure. I'm so glad that we actually got to meet, and yeah, all the best. So cheers, John. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share our channel. And if you'd like more information on full-time RV travel and living, visit our website, thefeelgoodfamily.com.au. There you'll find loads of free resources, our weekly podcast, caravan cooking recipes, our monthly Go RV magazine articles and much more. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care of yourself and your family, and happy trails.
Out of the mine exactly as it is, the barrel crosses we call it, and as I always say, if that doesn't convert you to Christianity, nothing will. I mean, it's rather spooky, isn't it, when you think about it? It's amazing. For that just to come out from rocks. We
ended up with Dark Rocky Road, Ginger and Smarties.
Who's getting which ones?
I'm getting this one. You're getting this one, and Mummy's getting Ginger. Mine.
Lots of colour.
Do you think you'd like to stay here, Jasper?
So gorgeous. Too colourful? What about this though? These are pretty. Who's your favourite on here? Oh.
Amazing.
Now could someone get me down from here?
Might not be tall enough.
Do you want me to lift you up? Come here. Okay, here we go.
Whoa! I didn't know that this was the size of them. What you got there, Mum?
Oh, what do you think? That's pretty cute, isn't it?
Flying Doctor's shirt.
Flying Doctor's shirt.
Favourite colour.
Yeah. It's pretty gorgeous, isn't it?
Look at these big ants.
Aren't they cool?
So soft and rainbowy.
Well, the whole area now, Priscilla used to be about here, and all the mess on the walls, writing, everything is all as it was back in 2006 when he passed on. So what we're doing now is painting classes, which you can book for, and you get a glass of wine and you get to paint something. You get your own little easel and canvas to take home. So what we've done on the walls is just put up memorabilia. That's a pro art painting. We've had to put it behind some plastic because people get a little bit crazy with the paint. But everyone has a great time. So we've got old articles. What have we got? Queen Elizabeth II Australia. I think it was his MBE you got. Another paint splatter painting he'd done. You see the sword, paint on anything. But the tourists just love it because they're actually in the same studio. Dad just all the history.